Science and technology from the month of February. Now, exoplanets. The James Webb Telescope has discovered its first exoplanet named LH-475b. Now, exoplanets are planets that orbit other stars beyond the solar system. Now, according to NASA, to date, more than 5,000 exoplanets have been discovered. Exoplanets are of different sizes. They can be gas giants bigger than Jupiter or as small and rocky as Earth. They are also known to have different kind of temperatures, boiling hot to freezing cold. Now, the discovery of exoplanets is tough as they are small and hard to spot around their bright host stars. Scientists rely on indirect methods such as transit method. This method involves measuring the dimming of a star that happens to have a planet pass in front of it. Now, studying exoplanet broadens human understanding of other solar systems. It also helps understand planetary systems and their origin. It can also help find extraterrestrial life. Study of exoplanets can help establish whether they are within the habitable zone and can support life. When a planet is at a distance that enables such conditions to exist that can support life, example presence of liquid water, it is said to be in the Goldilocks zone or the habitable zone. Now, LH-475b is an exoplanet. It is roughly same size as Earth. It is located 41 light years away. The planet orbits very close to a red dwarf star and completes a full orbit in just 2 days. Now, moving on to bimodal nuclear propulsion. NASA has selected bimodal nuclear propulsion as preferred propulsional technology for manned missions throughout the solar system. The system will be developed under NASA Innovative Advanced Concepts Program. When developed, it can reduce the transit time to Mars to 45 days. Now, bimodal nuclear propulsion is a two-part system that includes nuclear thermal and nuclear electric propulsion. The nuclear thermal system includes a nuclear reactor that will heat liquid hydrogen, LH2, propellant and turn it into ionized hydrogen gas, that is plasma. Now, the ionized gas will be channeled through a nozzle to generate thrust. Nuclear electric propulsion depends on nuclear reactor to provide electricity to Hall effect thrusters, that is ion engines, which will generate an electromagnetic field that will ionize and accelerate an inert gas to create thrust. So in thermal system we have hydrogen, ionized hydrogen, and in electric system we have inert gases, that is ions of inert gases to be exact. Now moving on to advanced advantages of bimodal nuclear propulsion. Bimodal nuclear propulsion has major advantages over conventional chemical propulsions like fuel efficiency, higher specific impulse rating, that is ISP, and higher energy density. Now, a crewed mission to Mars based on conventional propulsion technology may last up to 3 years. With the bimodal nuclear propulsion technology, the transit time can be reduced to 45 days. This can reduce the duration to a few months instead of 3 years. A wave motor used to decouple reactor with motive gas, allowing for increased specific impulse rating, that is ISP. Now, moving on to Aditya L1 mission, ISRO is planning to launch the Aditya L1 mission to Sun by June-July 2023. Now, Aditya L1 is first Indian space mission to observe Sun and solar corona. The objective of the mission is to study solar upper atmospheric, that is chromosphere and corona, dynamics and understand the physics of solar corona and its heating mechanism. The mission will be launched to L1 orbit, that is the first Lagrange point of Sun-Earth system. Aditya L1 has 7 payloads, of which primary payload is the Visible Emission Line Chronograph, that is VELC. The other payloads include Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope, Solar Low Energy X-ray Spectrometer, Solar Wind Particle Experiment, and Plasma Analyzer Package, among others. Now, Lagrange points are those points where the gravitational force of two large bodies and the centrifugal forces balance each other. Hence, the Lagrange points are excellent for satellites orbits, as minimum adjustments are required to keep the orbit of the satellite stable. Now, moving on to hydrogen train, Indian Railways has planned to operate 35 hydrogen power trains on various heritage and hilly routes in India under its Hydrogen for Heritage project. Now, hydrogen trains use hydrogen fuel cells rather than traditional diesel engines. The hydrogen fuel cells produce electricity by converting hydrogen and oxygen, which is then used to power the train's motor. Now, hydrogen fueled locomotives are clean, efficient, and powerful like electric motors, but do not require a network of poles and overhead wires. At present, green hydrogen is expensive, but its cost of production is expected to fall drastically by 2030. India has third largest railway network. 37% of the trains are pulled by diesel locomotives. Indian Railways used 6.5 million liters of diesel in a day in 2019-20 to haul its trains. Now, hydrogen trains can cut down the diesel usage, hence it is cleaner, and 1 kg of hydrogen will replace 4.5 liters of diesel, hence it will prove to be economical. The service and maintenance cost of hydrogen trains are likely to be lower. Now, moving on to National Bioenergy Program. The National Bioenergy Program has been launched to promote use of sustainable energy through use of bioenergy. Now, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has notified the National Bioenergy Program in November 2022. The program has been planned for a period till 2025-26. It has 3 sub-schemes. The sub-schemes are Waste to Energy Program, Biomass Program, and Biogas Program. Now, Waste to Energy Program's objective is to support setting up of waste to energy projects for generation of biogas, bio-CNG, power, producer or syngas from urban, industrial, and agricultural wastes and residue. The program provides central finance assistance, that is CFA, to project developers. Now, Biomass program is aimed at supporting the manufacturing of briquettes and pellets apart from promotion of biomass, that is non-bagasse based connotations in industries. Now, biogas program. Objective of this program is to support setting up of biogas plants for clean cooking fuel, lighting, meeting thermal and small power needs of users, which ultimately results in greenhouse gas reduction, improved sanitation, women empowerment, and creation of rural employment. Now, moving on to CAR T cell therapy. CAR T cell therapy has received worldwide attention due to its promising prospect to cure cancer. Now, the three major forms of treatment of any cancer are surgery, radiotherapy, and systemic therapy. So, surgery is removing the cancerous cells, radiotherapy is delivering ionized radiation to the tumor, and systemic therapy is administering medicines that act on tumor. Now, CAR T cell therapy is a new type of therapy. Unlike chemotherapy or immunotherapy, which requires mass produced injectables or oral medication, CAR T cells therapies use a patient's own cells. Hence, they are called living drugs. Now, working of CAR T cell therapy is in this therapy, patient's blood is used to harvest T cells. Now, T cells are immune cells that play a major role in destroying tumor cells. Now, researchers then modify these cells in laboratory to express specific proteins on the surface known as chimeric antigen receptors. They have an affinity for proteins on the surface of tumor cells. These modified cells are infused back into patient's bloodstream after conditioning them to multiply more effectively. The modification in this cellular structure allows CAR T cells to effectively bind to the tumor and destroy it. The final step is tumor's destruction, involves its clearance by patient's immune system. Now, CAR T cell therapy has been approved for leukemia, that is cancers arising from cells produced white blood cells, and lymphoma arising from lymphatic systems. It is also used among patients with cancers that have returned after an initial successful treatment or who haven't responded to previous combinations of chemotherapy or immunotherapy. The complexity for preparing CAR T cells have been a major barrier to the therapy. The first clinical trial showing they were effective was published almost a decade ago. The first indigenously developed therapy in India was successfully performed only in 2022. Trials are underway in India with companies looking to indigenously manufacture CAR T cells more economically. The preliminary results have been encouraging. Now, moving on to the role of scientific departments and institutions in realizing the vision of Union Budget 2023-24. Now, various scientific research institutions have a critical role to play in realizing the visions laid out in Union Budget 2023-24. Now, CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. CSIR has a presence in all focus areas of this year's budget. For example, it plays an important role in green hydrogen research and development under the National Hydrogen Mission. It also focuses on national mission to eliminate sickle cell anemia by 2047. It has also an ongoing AI program to augment AI application in several areas. A new program has been launched to promote innovations in pharmaceuticals. Now, Ministry of Science and Technology. The Union Budget allocated 2,000 crore more to Ministry of Science and Technology than its previous budget. This is an advantage for the development in field of science and technology. Now, Department of Biotechnology. That is, biotechnology has been a major role to play in finding sustainable solutions for ensuring green growth, as envisaged in the Union Budget. Now, DBT is developing a policy framework for high-performance biomanufacturing to have world-class facilities and workforce in synthetic biology-based manufacturing practices. Now, DBT is focused to bring improvements in science and technology in healthcare through One Health. Now, DBT is working to operationalize tuberculosis genomic surveillance for drug resistance. It is also developing a program to genetically characterize minor millets. Now, issues with the Union Budget of 23-24 is to compete at international level in knowledge generation. The current level of science and tech expenditure is inadequate. Only 0.36% of the budget has been located to Ministry of Science and Technology. The budget for Department of Biotechnology, Space and CSIR has been reduced, adjusted for inflation. The new Education Policy 2020 recommends increasing education spending to 6% of the GDP. However, education has only received 2.5% of this budget. That'll be it.